How do I mention my vastly superior IQ on Quora while sounding humble at the same time? You don't. Nobody cares. Quora's full of people boasting about their IQ and vastly exaggerating their scores. Hey everyone, Noble Xenon here, and just like Daniel said, Quora's full of these intellectuals boasting about their superior IQ. Let's get started. So, I've recently tested for an IQ of 115. How do I humble myself after receiving this new information and realizing that I'm probably smarter than 95% of the global population? The first step is leaving Quora. While you at least want to humble yourself, this next one, not so much. Why don't people humble themselves up when I simply utter that my IQ is 200 on Quora? They want people to tremble before your presence just by mentioning an IQ of 200. How do I let people on Quora know I'm a powerhouse when it comes to having a higher IQ than them? Why do people on Quora seek my demise when they see that my IQ is 200? My IQ is so high they think I'm some kind of supervillain. Why do haters on Quora hate me flexing my 200 IQ? We don't hate you, it's just painfully obvious to us that you're lying. Do you have any idea how rare a 200 IQ is? Do you realize that we know people who have 200 IQs would never ask, why do haters on Quora hate me for flexing my 200 IQ? We don't hate you, we merely recognize you as attention-seeking. Have you gotten enough attention yet? Apparently not, because such questions persist on Quora to this day. So much waste in G7 group meets they should be to show superior IQ and practical insight than show Putin bare chest 8 musols on horse, no comparisons, irrelevant. What? I don't even think the Quora geniuses with a 383 IQ level could figure this question out. No wonder it has no answers. What are you even trying to ask? Why isn't it so obvious to people on Quora that my IQ is in fact 200? Here we go again. Well, let's see some of the compelling nuggets you've posted. Why do people hate God when he's super cool? Why do people on Quora think I'm a braggart bringing up that my IQ is 200 when they should be humbled that my IQ even exists? Why do so many people on Quora not like my IQ being 200 when they should be happy for me? How do you get people on Quora to ponder over the fact that your IQ is 200 instead of reacting with jealousy and envy every time you bring up your IQ? So you want people to ponder over a number? Maybe I'm simply not intelligent enough to understand. What do you do if a lot of people don't like you on Quora because your IQ is 200? And what do you do if your boss doesn't like you because your IQ is 200 and you make a fool out of him at the office? After pondering over these nuggets of yours, your IQ is nowhere near 200. Your photos look like they were made by a bad AI. If you had an IQ of 200, you wouldn't even be on Quora. You wouldn't need to brag about it. IQ has zero to do with intelligence. All it tells you is how fast and comprehensively you can learn something. Trump used to say he had a high IQ. He doesn't. But if you never learned anything since the 4th grade, your IQ is worthless. But what about my study of quantum physics? Checkmate, Quora. How does the European IQ compare to the African IQ? Which race is superior? The bigger question is, why are you asking these kinds of questions on Quora? I won't even dignify this with an answer. I am 15 years old. Am I too old to learn quantum physics? I have an IQ of 130, by the way. Too old at 15? Only on Quora. What would be my IQ level if I developed a quantum physics theory that would provide me a Nobel Prize at age 18? I don't think that's how IQ works, but okay. My 16-year-old reads quantum physics. Is this normal? I'm tired of seeing these sorts of questions on Quora. I don't know if the asker is serious or just fishing for compliments about how unique their child is. Honestly, I can't tell anymore. Yes, it's normal to have interests outside of the status quo. Just because your child pours through Dostoevsky, Feynman, and Socrates, it doesn't mean that there's some freak of nature. Plenty of people have interest in physics. Please excuse my cynicism, maybe I need a break from Quora. Don't we all? It's dangerous to quit alcohol cold turkey, but I just wanted to say I smoke weed to dumb myself down to everyone else's level, cause everyone is so friggin' stupid, and if I wasn't high, my head would explode. Hey, it's a way to deal with individuals of inferior IQ. I'm a fast learner. I learned quantum physics and its math in just 2 days. I learned Cal 1 to 4 in 1 month. I know general physics and I'm really a fast learner at physics and math. I got A+ in physics and math. I'm 16 years old. Where does my IQ range? Gerald replies, "Hey, Troll Jr., if you really accomplished all these things, you would have been tested for your IQ. I don't think Quora's the best place to test for your IQ. People just self-declare an IQ of 287. Are atheists morally and intellectually superior to believers? Do some atheists believe they are intellectually superior to theists? If so, why? Well, some individuals on Quora and Reddit maybe, but most atheists just live their lives. No need to boast about intellectual or moral superiority. For this next one, I have a feeling this guy just learned about angular momentum 5 minutes ago. Did you know that if angular momentum was conserved, it would torque along the angle of the Earth's curvature and prevent it from spinning? Therefore, the only way angular momentum could be conserved is if the Earth is flat. Oh god, here we go with the flat earthers. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, then why not like, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell? Why do I feel like I have superior intelligence compared to my peers? Well, I guess you could just be smarter than most folks, but it could also be this. Have you ever heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect? That goes out to all the individuals who claim to have a superior IQ without actually having an official IQ test. Why am I intellectually superior to everyone else on this website? Well, why are you asking intellectually inferior people to explain something to you that you don't understand despite your superior intelligence? That's not very intelligent of you, but it is very trolly of them. Once I get my PhD, can I prove my intellectual superiority over others? Well, if that's the reason you're getting a PhD, then you're getting it for all the wrong reasons. I'm 13 and my IQ is higher than anyone I've ever met. It is 230 and I know if I tell anyone they won't believe me. What should I do? Well, I'm pretty sure you'd be known outside of Quora if you actually had such a high IQ. But speaking of, as a high IQ person who is programmed and taught programming, I say that I cannot think of any other activity that stretches my cognitive ability more. That is especially true when it comes to creative problem solving, rather than just bog standard coding. This next intellectual answers the question, why is British/UK rap so bad? This intellectual claims to be a freelance writer, a polymath, and anti-communist. Rap cannot be considered a musical form or expression. It is just obscene chanting of nursery rhyme couplets, whilst twitching arms as if in an apoplectic fit to the accompaniment of a monotonous synthetic drum beat. Just not intellectually stimulating in the slightest. My dude, just say that rap isn't for you. Like, you don't need to bash an entire genre of music just because you don't like it. Alright, moving on. What are the best study methods? At high school, I routinely scored over 95% in most subjects. At a highly competitive private school, I was at the top of my class for every subject I took at one time or another. Often most of my subjects most of the time, but not all of the time. Oh no, you don't want to sound too intellectually superior. All the while barely paying attention in class and not doing my homework. I had a lot of piano practice to do. I was aiming to be a professional pianist, so ain't nobody got time for that. What I did do, though, was spend hours every night, weekend, and often during class time trying to prove everything I was taught wrong. When we were taught relativity, for example, I spent literally hundreds of hours tearing apart the equations to find out where Einstein got it wrong, or trying to devise alternate explanations. Or, when we were doing electricity and magnetism, I spent hours designing an Earth-sized electrical generator, figuring out how much copper would be required to generate enough electricity for the whole world, how fast it would need to rotate, how to get the electricity back to the ground, etc. For biology, I wrote short novels based on fantasy worlds where I described in great details the ecosystems and drew animals and described their biology and evolution. I invented a new model for light, neither wave nor particle. When we were learning about that, I invented a new language and alphabet, was a massive Tolkien fan, etc., etc. Unfortunately, my IQ is a paltry 130. How can I live with myself when so many Quarans claim IQs north of 150? My intellectual inferiority keeps me up at night. Oh, Quora, help me! My IQ is 167, but my wife's is 78. Should I dump her? Stephen Hawking's IQ is 160, and even though you're 7 IQ points ahead of him, I'm yet to hear your name associated with anything extraordinary. Your wife, on the other hand, successfully married a guy with IQ more than double her own IQ level, if your IQ is to be believed, that is, since this is all I know of your wife's accomplishments. So clearly she's doing far better in terms of her IQ level than you are. So joke's on you, mate, she should dump you instead. It may be less obvious for women as it's less correlated. I know that a defined jawline has a decent correlation with IQ with men, but with women it's a lower correlation. Does it? I didn't know that. It's amazing what the world of psychometrics hides. I personally could cut cheese with my jawline. Yeah, mine was pretty straight as well. So does that indicate that the Giga Chad is a Giga Genius? Noble Xenon, my good sir, the intellectuals must inform you that correlation does not indicate causation. Moving on. Today I learned that Quora is not for mundane simple questions. From this person who studied engineering at Chester Grammar, graduated in 1970. You don't need to be an electrician to want to know the answer, but if you need to know, Google is best. Quora is not meant for mundane simple questions. And 8coins replies, to be fair, if you want an actual answer and not someone bragging about the intellect and degrees, you wouldn't use Quora. Every single answer on there is a friggin' autobiography of brags. The actual answer is only a second thought. You see, the IQ, the PhDs, the years of studying quantum physics, all of that is just far more important than actually answering questions. What's it like to be the smartest person in the room? Well, some would tell you you're in the wrong room. Meanwhile, Thanos is prowling the streets of Quora burdened by his large hypothalamus. As an example, both the sociopath and myself, I'm highly intelligent, can see and understand the benefit from the death of half the world's population. Bro saw the Thanos snap and thought, hey, that's a good idea. Many people on Quora claim to have extremely high IQs. Why should I believe someone if they tell me their IQ is astronomically high? How do they distinguish between highly intelligent people and people with genius-level intelligence? People with ascended IQ levels? One should expect a greater probability of high IQ people in Quora than in most other places. And bro even made a whole chart comparing the IQ levels of the general population and Quora's IQ levels, and of course, there are much higher IQs on Quora than the general population, because of course someone on Quora would claim that. And he even calls it a reasonable estimate, based on what? The number of people who just throw around a 250 IQ without any kind of proof? This next Quora intellectual codes, thinks, and enjoys sarcasm. Hello there, good sir or madam. I am a person, hypothetically residing in the Milky Way's Perseus spiral and Sagittarius arms. I am heading into the computer science field with the speed of light. Do you like raisin cookies? You've got issues if you do. What I was trying to say is that raisins represent my perhaps elevated sarcasm. You can't get a normal cookie because life is unfair. Don't like my swearing? Well, damn. I shall apologize to thee. However, let me check my pockets to look for F's to give. Find me on Medium, too. For more highly intellectual sarcasm and raisin cookies. They are not normal cookies, they're abominations! Hey Quora, if I throw a lighter on the ground real hard, will it explode? Every once in a while it will, yeah. I had a friend get real mad at me one time and as a threat threw a lighter real hard into the road and it went off like a gunshot. Not sure why so many people want to shoot me down through the years. It's 'cause I'm just too smart. People generally hate anyone that twice their intellect. Carry on, talk among yourselves. What was even the correlation between this question and intelligence? What do I do if the world isn't interesting enough for me? My IQ is 200 plus, and my mind works in a way that I can't keep interest in anything. My mind either figures out the problem and slips away from the subject, or figures out that it is pointless and gives up in search of something better. I need something interesting to keep my mind busy. It's the tragedy of the high IQ. Why is everyone in my life intimidated by my intelligence? I'm 16, a prodigy, IQ of 147 if that even matters at all. While on Quora it matters a lot. My parents are intimidated by my intelligence, as are my closest friends, my siblings, my teachers, my tutor, absolutely everyone simply trembles at the presence of me and my intelligence. Hey Quora, will my professor be impressed if I wrote an 87-page essay when the assignment was for 20 pages? I think the professor will be like, why are you making me read so much? This next intellectual wrote strayologist in his Quora bio. What does strayologist mean? Well, it's a word that I created. You will not find it in the dictionary or the web unless you're on Quora, of course. The meaning is simple. Break strayologist into two. Stray means random or anything. Logist means one who studies something. Together, it means one who studies random things. And I'm a strayologist. Read some of my answers and you will get it, winky face. Thanks for reading, smiley face. You see, the thesaurus is simply not enough. One must invent words to truly be intelligent. What is one ridiculous reason for which you got kicked out of class? For quoting Shakespeare, I was sitting in my language arts class and the teacher asked, who in here considers themselves a leader? Everyone except me raised their hands. And who considers themselves a follower? I raised my hand. He asked, Eric, why do you consider yourself a follower? While the class snickered in the background, I said, as Shakespeare once said, the fool doth think he's wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. I was sent to the principal's office for calling the rest of the class fools. That got 68,000 upvotes on Quora. 68,000! This next one has an IQ of 181, is a lucid dreamer, a companion psychologist, has a photographic memory, and is supposedly a full psychic. And you'll witness those psychic powers right about now. I can explain a 147 IQ. I live. Have you ever looked at your toes in the morning and one toe decides to go straight down? I look for the cause of things. I have a very full concept of a photographic memory. Just a concept of one, not an actually photographic memory? Okay then. You have thoughts of being lonely tonight. I am full psychic. I tend to adjust ideas. You were belittled tonight. This can happen. I want to impress on you something so important for the rest of your life. You are the most important person in your own life. To belittle others by their natural superiority is what a certain mustached individual during World War II did. A worthless politician with no concept of anything other than himself. And of course, the question that everyone on Quora once answered, how can I increase my IQ from 130 to 150? It's one of life's great mysteries, you know? So, I'd like to thank all of my channel members, especially Amethyst Phoenix, Catalin Cormendi, Mike Hawk, Hold Up, and Vic Meister 1999. You can join simply by clicking the join button below. Feel free to like, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell if you enjoyed it, and feel free to comment if you've got something on your mind.